360 up front, it all comes full circle. I never thought I was gonna be doing content creation. I never kind of aspired to that. It's crazy because the things that I'm doing now, my dad in the early 90s, early 2000s was doing those things. I remember as a kid having to carry around the tripod bag and the extension cords and the JVC mega camera. And I hated it. Didn't want anything to do with it. I was there early, I was there late. Me and my brother kind of was trudged along, and it made me hate the actual experience of videography in general. I didn't want anything to do with it because there was so much work involved. But on the flip side, now here I am, kind of doing exactly what I didn't want to do, but doing it because I know that there's purpose behind it. And I say all that to go to say 360 up front, it really all comes full circle. What I rejected in the past is what is saving me now. And it all brings me back to this conversation I was having with my brother-in-law. Shout out to Carl B. He said that we're the only people group who don't want to stand on the backs of our ancestors. And that was so profound because it's true. You know, my dad had the videography business. He had the television channel, all that, you name it. Business, LLC, funds, you name it. And instead of embracing that and leveling up off of that, I chose to say, I don't want anything to do with it. I don't want to even look at a camera. And now, in retrospect, I'm seeing how crucial and how vital this has become part of my actual life. Like, I want to do this. I want to be here. I want to be in the space where I'm creating content that you will ingest, that you will take in, that you will be entertained by and or learn from. And I mean, I guess it takes some maturity to get to that level, because I mean, again, I didn't want to do this. Didn't want to be in this space. Didn't want anything to do with this type of stuff. I wanted to be a rock star. Still do want to be a rock star, but I wanted to be a rock star. But, you know, call a spade a spade. I am so wrong for not allowing myself to stand on the backs of my father, who had the vision, but it was just not in its right season. Or it was in the right season, just germinating to what it is now. You know, my dad was creating content when creating content was not cool, when it was not hip in the early 90s and early 2000s. He had the vision to see it, I didn't. And so now it's trying to, you know, one, atone, and two, make sure that I allow, you know, the time that we do have, you know, to be as fruitful as possible. So I think that that's especially difficult for like me as a son, because I spent so much of my time trying to outdo it, like do it on my own, get my own apartment, get my own car, marry my wife, have my children, just do it on my own without having to ask for help. Not knowing that, you know, in my language, the Blanchevets, that's what they do. You know, the Asian community, mom owns a Chinese restaurant. All the kids are working there. Even when they're older, they're working there because they understand the value of working in community. They understand the value of leveling up. And so, again, I'm so excited to see how the next 30, 60, 90 days plays themselves out. Because I've dreamed about this for months. I've given this talk I'm giving right now thousands of times in my head. I've given it dozens of times, in different circumstances and different situations. So I'm equipped and I'm prepared because I've already dreamt this. I've breathed this. I've had this reality inside of me for months now, years now. But here we are, full circle, while I'm kind of just, manifesting it in real life. So it really does come, again, full circle. The things that I didn't want to do are the things that I'm doing now. Cyclical. And the things that were internal and the desires that were kind of an internal process are now being manifested as external processes. And I think that's pretty cool.